The Stellar Academy dormitory wing had never seen such chaos. Kalen stood in the hallway, watching through the observation window as 6 Raxian cubs tore through their assigned quarters like a whirlwind. Pillows flew through the air, shredded fabric floating down like snow. The cubs' sharp teeth had destroyed every cushion, every soft surface they could find. "This is the third set of bedding this week," Administrator Threxus said, his 4 eyes blinking in distress. "We cannot continue like this." The cubs refuse to sleep. They destroy everything we give them. Kalen studied the small creatures through the glass. They were no bigger than house cats, covered in silver-blue fur that shimmered under the station lights. Their eyes glowed amber in the dim room. Beautiful, really, but clearly distressed. What happened to their den mother? Kalen asked. Lost in the colony collapse on Raxia Prime, Threxus explained. These 6 are all that survived. We brought them here to the academy for safety, but they will not settle. Without a den mother, they cannot sleep. They bite, they destroy, they cry all night. The largest cub, Vash, stood on a shredded pillow, his small chest heaving. He let out a piercing cry that made the other cubs respond in kind. The sound carried through the door, high and lonely that Kalen's heart twisted. She knew that sound. She had heard it before, back on Earth, in the animal shelters where she had volunteered. The cry of a young creature who had lost everything safe and familiar. "Let me try something," she said quietly. Threxus turned all 4 eyes on her. "Human Kalen, you are a maintenance technician. This is not your assignment. The xenobiologists have tried everything. Have they tried being a den mother?" The administrator's translator struggled with the concept. Kalen did not wait for his response. She walked to the door and pressed her hand against the entry panel. "Wait," Threxus called. "They might bite you. They have bitten everyone who tried to handle them." "Then I will not handle them," Kalen said simply, and stepped inside. The quarters fell silent. 6 pairs of amber eyes locked onto her. Vash bared his tiny fangs, a low growl rumbling from his throat. The other cubs clustered behind him, forming a defensive line. Kalen sat down on the floor, slow and careful. She made herself small, unthreatening. She did not reach for them. She did not speak. She simply sat, her back against the wall, and waited. Minutes passed. The cubs watched her, tense and ready to flee or fight. Kalen closed her eyes halfway, a relaxed posture that said she meant no harm. She began to hum, low and soft. An old Earth lullaby her grandmother had sung to her when she was small. Vash's ears twitched. The growl faded. One of the smaller cubs took a hesitant step forward, then stopped. Kalen kept humming, kept her breathing slow and steady. More minutes passed. The station's artificial night cycle dimmed the lights further. Kalen shifted slightly, pulling her pillow from her own quarters into her lap. It was the only one she had brought from Earth, worn soft from years of use. It still smelled like home, like the lavender soap she used. She placed it on the floor in front of her and leaned back against the wall again. Not offering, just making it available. The smallest cub moved first. A tiny female with a notch in her left ear. She crept forward, belly low to the ground, until she reached the pillow. She sniffed it, her small nose working. Then she bit it, testing. The pillow did not tear. It was old, the fabric tough and densely woven. The cub bit harder. Still it held. She made a small confused sound. Kalen did not move, did not react, just kept humming. The cub circled the pillow once, twice. Then she climbed onto it and kneaded it with her small paws, the way young creatures do when they remember nursing. Her eyes drifted half closed. Another cub approached. Then another. They crowded onto the pillow, pushing against each other, seeking warmth and safety. Their small bodies formed a pile, tangled together. Vash remained standing, watching. The leader, unwilling to show weakness. Kalen understood that too. She had been the oldest, responsible for her younger siblings when their parents worked long hours. Always the last to rest. Always making sure everyone else was safe first. She began to hum a different tune. Something slower, deeper. A song her father had hummed while working in his garden. Peaceful and unhurried. Vash's tail twitched. He took one step forward. Stopped. Took another. His amber eyes were heavy with exhaustion. Kalen very slowly extended her hand, palm up, resting it on the floor beside the pillow. Not reaching for him, just offering. The cub leader studied her hand for a long moment. Then he walked forward and pressed his small head against her palm. The touch was gentle, seeking. Kaelin felt the vibration before she heard it. A tiny purr building in his chest. She carefully, so carefully, stroked the fur behind his ears. Vash's eyes closed. The purr grew louder. He climbed onto the pillow with his siblings, burrowing into the pile of small bodies. Within seconds, his breathing slowed, deepened. Kaelin sat against the wall, her hand resting on the pillow where the cubs slept. The purring filled the quiet room, 6 small engines of contentment. Through the observation window, she could see Administrator Threxus staring, all 4 eyes wide with shock. She smiled and closed her own eyes. She would stay here tonight and tomorrow night, and as many nights as the cubs needed. The xenobiologists could study all they wanted, run all their tests and protocols. But some things did not require advanced degrees or alien technology. Some things just required understanding what it meant to be small and scared and missing home. To need warmth and safety and someone who would stay, who would not leave even when you bit and destroyed and cried. Someone who would offer what they had, even when it was the last pillow they owned. The cubs purred in their sleep, safe at last. And Kaelin hummed softly in the darkness, keeping watch over her strange little family. Outside in the hallway, Administrator Threxus stood in silence, watching the human do what all the science and technology of 100 worlds could not. She had given them what they needed most. Not control, not correction, just presence, patience, and a piece of home.